Can you hear the music?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, hell yeah. Does it just get your right amp?
I'm vibing. Oh yeah.
Right? Oh, feel that. But it's coming up right there. Oh, did you feel that?
The drop, that little pause.
Fuck it. Oh, like it's a little pause before it just like fucks with you.
Does he do all of it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, doesn't it just get you right ready to fight someone, right? Like if you were
Ready to
gonna fight
fucking
someone, that would be the song to do it to.
If I had
Right?
to fight my
Welcome
boss
back
in
to
a Phillies
another.
parking lot, that'd be it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, welcome back to another episode of On the Throne with Dick, and shout out to Stanchion Boychuk for that incredible intro and outro music. You can find him everywhere on the socials. And today we got as a special guest today we have Anna, aka Welder In Progress. What's up?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Oh fuck, just living the dream. First day off for my days off here. It wasn't a very long hitch in this time. I came home because my sister flew in from Ontario, back east. I don't know, you're from Chicago area, so like I don't know if you know where Ontario is in Canada, but it's above you somewhere.
Oh, I figured it'd be north. So
in terms of Toronto, she's pretty much in Toronto. So if you know where Toronto is. Yeah, so she flew in so her and my wife could have a Taylor Swift listening party. It's Taylor Swift's new album comes out at midnight tonight. And so 10 o'clock our time, right? So she came here so she can listen to it too. I don't know if she's really listening to it early, but like whatever. They're doing their thing anyways.
That's super cute.
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, they're best friends. They're my wife and my sister. My wife and I have been together 20 years and my sister's like 25. So they've known each other like pretty much my sister's entire life.
So she's a lot younger than you then, right?
Yeah, she's 10 years younger, yeah.
Oh shit, it's quite a gap.
Yeah, I'm old as fuck. And so my sister, her boyfriend, who's now her fiance, just recently proposed to her like 4 months ago. And I was recently asked if I would walk my sister down the aisle. So
that's cute.
Yeah, so I'm pumped, and my wife's gonna be like a matron of honor, I guess, as well. So I'm honored. I'm honored to do that. Our dad's not really in our life, so I'm pumped. I was the second person ever to hold my baby sister. So the doctor pulled her out, handed her to her mom handed her to me. I was right there.
That's crazy watching that whole progression.
Yeah, man. I was 10 and here we are. Like, she's getting married. She's the best aunt to my children now, and it's mind blowing. And my wife has been there for she missed the first like 6.5, 7 years, but she's been there almost the entire time as well, right? So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular watching their bond, over the years, and then when we had kids, watching my sister that I know is Patricia, we call her Trish, morph into Aunt P, right? And it's amazing. She's actually sleeping in this room, knowing that we call Frosty Studios now, or it's not really, but like fucking she sleeps in this room here, and this is actually a new place for me. We just moved in here about a month ago. So it's the first time I'm recording from this room, so I'm excited for that.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
You need to get a little like a placard to go right above you when you're recording.
I'm actually trying to get a neon light that says On the Throne podcast or something. You know how expensive those are to get made?
No, but I can imagine.
It would cost me $800 every time you see like $900. Yeah, every time I see one of those ads for one, it says $25. So I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, cool. We talk. It's $25 a letter.
Do they cap you on a size, or
I don't know.
They just say a letter?
I think it's a letter, and then it goes by like height and width and stuff. So I think it's, yeah, well, the podcast is sponsored. We'll get into that. We'll get into that eventually. Maybe that's something we can work on with the sponsor eventually, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like really bugging him for that. So there's other fish to fry.
Maybe he'll just hear it and feel generous. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And
maybe. So how you been?
Oh, better than I deserve. How you been?
My God, my boss says that all the time. How you doing? Better than I deserve. And
No
it's like,
kidding.
man, come on. You don't. No, that's wild. So like, you think you don't think you deserve to be this good or what?
See, okay, everyone sees it as like such a negative thing. The only people I have said that to that have been like, "That's great. I'm going to start saying that." Alcoholics when I was in AA. They're like, I love that. That's awesome.
Holy shit. All right.
I mean, like, it's not that I don't think I deserve what I have, but like, given some of the choices and decisions I've made, like, I'm healthy, I'm alive, more than I deserve.
That's better than what you deserve, right? Better than what I'm starting to see it differently from now that you've explained it that way. And, him and I are going to have a talk about that. I'll be like, so man, elaborate on that a little bit. We're going to have that discussion next time I say, how you doing? And he said, better than I deserve. It's going to be a conversation. So
you should, because I don't know. I personally, it's not a negative thing for me.
So no, hey, and I wasn't being judgmental about it either. Right. I was just like, man, that's only the second time I've ever heard that. Once from my boss for like the last 10 years. And now you like, I think that's wild. Like you put some context behind it. So
I'd be curious to know, like, I don't know what his context is.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him that. Everyone's got a cool story, which is why this podcast exists. I like talking to people with their cool stories, right? And like you shared a little bit of your cool story there. And, like we're going to get more into that. That just opened up another side trail on this journey of the podcast, right? Like you're going down, and I like having random people on and talking to them. You never know what you're going to learn about someone. And I love this. I love it.
You never know what kind of wild shit you're going to hear come out of someone's mouth either.
Exactly. And that's why I don't think before I speak. I like to be just as surprised as everyone else, right?
Agreed 100%.
Did I just say that? Oh shit. Right? Like
That's how you know it's a good one though. It's like, oh boy, that just slipped out, man. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't really do any homework, right? And I don't really plan any episode. I just jump in. We just have this conversation, and like, I started seeing you a little bit more. I had no idea you were in the troll thing, because like you don't participate in the group chat, right? So, I didn't see you there, and then one day you just messaged me, and then I was like, oh shit. So then I started seeing your stuff a bit more, right?
Yeah.
It's like the algorithm's like, by the way, she exists, and then threw it at me. And it's like, oh shit. And then and then we started talking about the podcast, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta have this person on, right? Like Welder In Progress. Like, where did you come up with that name, Welder In Progress? Like, why in progress? Like, are you a journeyman, or are you just?
No. Far from it.
Okay, so, I thought you were a journeyman or something like that.
Well, thank you.
See,
no, far
I've
from.
I've seen your work. You don't need a grinder.
Thank you. No, sometimes. Well, it depends on what we're doing. No, I actually left my job in management back in December and started welding as a job back in February, like early February. So
you've only been welding for 2 months.
As a job, yeah. I started back in August, like through school, so a couple hours a week. And then I just went out on a limb and applied, and they had me come in for a weld test, and they called me back. So
that's wild. Good for you. What were you managing?
I worked at, I don't know, fuck it. I worked at UPS as a preload supervisor. So I had
still blue collar, still a tough job, right? UPS, you're still sweating, still carrying boxes and shit. I've seen some UPS guys on here. I actually am friends with one named Rig Shady. He was on TikTok, and he left TikTok. after a while, he grew really big, and I don't know what happened with him there, but he actually got fired from UPS for making TikToks on the back of the truck,
Oh, no
right?
kidding.
Yeah, and he worked there for 26 years, and they said take the
I
video
believe it.
down or gone, right? They gave him the option, stop making videos or you're gone, and he's like, no, and he chose the TikTok less shit over his job. So
Good for him.
yeah, like, hey, it's changing lives, right? And we're having fun, and a lot of people are discovering that, hey, you know what, like, if this thing is draining me mentally and physically and is mentally taxing, right, I'm going somewhere where I want to be and enjoy it, right? And
Yep.
and then he's American, so as you guys are making a little bit of money off the whole social media thing, whereas us Canadians, we're we're up here just happy to be here. We're here for free, and it's fun. It's fun.
I mean, I'm right here with you. I haven't made a single cent yet, so we're just out here vibing.
Hell yeah! Hey, that's a vibe. It's a vibe. Yeah. So, man, what made you like? You're like, I'm managing a UPS, and then you're just like, you know what? I'm gonna put down the box and I'm gonna go pick up a welding rod. Like, out of everything you could have done, why welding?
So I was in management. I wasn't working on the floor. And management at UPS is technically not in the union. So if
Oh,
we get caught like touching a package, we're stealing union work. Like you can't do that. They'll file a grievance, they get paid, like yada yada yada. You can't do anything. And it was a lot. I don't know. Management isn't for me. I have kids of my own. I don't want to have to go to work and tell grown adults to do things that they know they should be doing anyways. I'd rather be the asshole that needs to be told what to do because I'm goofing off.
hell yeah!
But no, actually, it was kind of unintentional. I dropped out of high school 2 months before I would have graduated and got my GED about a year and a half later and was a degenerate for quite a while until I had my daughter. Uh,
Shout out to degenerates.
yeah, hell yeah. And didn't really do much. Kind of worked odd jobs. I worked at a custard shop. I worked maintenance at a warehouse. And then I found UPS.
We're calling this episode General Custard now. Like you,
General
I
custard.
always look for like a fancy name to call something. You worked at a custard shop. You're General Custard.
Yes, Ollie's frozen custard. So it was, but yeah, so found myself in UPS, worked there for about a year, and I hated it. It was awful. Decided to go to school to get a degree in manufacturing and technology. And they told me I had to pick a specialty. They gave me the option between welding and like technology. And I chose welding. And then it kind of just, I don't know, was actually pretty cool. I liked it. I didn't completely suck at it. So I ran with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, are you investing a lot in Kleenex yet? As a welder, you guys cry a lot. You whine quite a bit. Welders and electricians, man, like there's a lot of tears shed.
Yeah. Not quite yet. Go through a lot for my nose though. Q-tips, come home and take a couple Q-tips right to the nose. Filthy.
You burning yourself a lot, getting a lot of like schmeg down your shirt and whatnot.
I got a arc burn pretty good one of the first weeks. I don't know. I was wearing all my PPE, but it kind of just slipped up a little bit and arm was
You
starting to
should
get a little hot.
you should see Dave the upcycler. That guy doesn't use a welding mask half the time or gloves. He just goes for it.
Those people
And
are wild.
oh, he's wild. I don't think he has feeling in his hands anymore. So, like, good for him. I've sat with him outside the hospital one time. I was flying back to Ontario when I lived there, and I stayed with him for 2 days before I went back to make content and just hang out. Right, his
Right.
house is really fun to hang out at, and I get there, I get to his house the first night, and like he can't see. There's something in his eye. He doesn't know what it is. But he can't see. So we hang out the next day. He can't see still, and yada yada yada. So there's like 8 hours or whatever until I gotta fly back to. So my flight leaves, and he's like, "Man, can you take me to the hospital?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So I drove him in his truck to the hospital, and he's in the hospital for like, it felt like 8 hours. It was probably a little less, but it was close. And he's in there, and I fell asleep in his truck. I just fell asleep in the back seat. He comes out a few hours later. It's dark. It wasn't dark when he went in. And he's like, "Man, we got to get you to the airport. Let's go." I'm like, "What's wrong with your eye?" He's like, "They don't know. They can't find out anything. They gave me drops, yada, yada, yada." He drops me off at the airport with one eye and goes home in the dark. It's like 2 a.m.
He's like, "I got this."
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, man, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna send you Dave's profile. Dave does some incredible stuff with like a welding machine. Like he takes old forks and knives and spoons and shit, and he created this dragon with.
Oh, yo, I love that shit.
Oh yeah, he's got what they call the zoo." Right, and I'm gonna send you the profile. It's Dave.
I follow a couple of people like that, so I'm definitely interested.
Oh yeah, when we're done here, I'm gonna send him to you. That guy's like one of the first. No, not one of. He's the first person I ever met in real life off of like social media. Like when I first started, him and Donnie Boy, they invited me into their little friend group. And I had no idea what was going on, but I spent the night at a random dude's house that I had no idea who he was. It was a whole weekend, actually. And we made content together. They gave me tips and ideas. They were blowing up really fast. And we hung out, and they helped out. And I gained like 4,000 followers that weekend just hanging out with them. It was a wild ride, that's for sure. Yeah, it was good.
Your phrasing through most of that was super gay, but you know what? We're gonna let it slide because the story was cool. The story itself was cool.
The one time I actually slept at his house, I woke up with a penis traced on my face. So it wasn't drawn; it was traced. I said that. You heard that correctly. Yeah,
that wasn't a typo.
We made a whole video about it. Yeah, there was. Oh, I'm gonna post it. I gotta repost it now. Yeah, it's been a while since that one's made its way out. So, yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, no one's ever called us gay before, except for the time we did a video where we're all wearing shorts and we slapped each other's butts. That was
that just sounds blue collar. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good time. So speaking of blue collar, and you called yourself a mom. I don't know why we waited this long to get into it, but May is Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day is in May. And the podcast this month, I'm going to do all blue collar women that are also moms, and just a way to honor the hardworking moms out there, and so you went from UPS to welding, and like, I'm sure you did that with your kids in mind, right? Like, UPS probably doesn't pay as well as welding is, so I
actually took a pay cut.
You took a pay. Wow, that's because you're an apprentice, right? So, like, just wait.
So I'm not actually an apprentice. I just work for a company.
Okay.
We build a lot of grow equipment, mostly for the cannabis industry, but we've also built some things for like Driscoll and some other bigger names. But
so Driscoll does like strawberries and shit, right?
Yeah, raspberries.
And they do cannabis too?
No.
Oh, could you imagine that? Like weed flavored strawberries.
Strawberry flavored weed.
Yeah, there you go. So like you're not an apprentice. So like you're just sort of learning this on your own as you go.
Yeah, technically I'm a welder fabricator is what my title is.
Okay, so like, are there plans to get like the blue book and become an apprentice to work your way up?
Yeah, I'm sure eventually. Yeah. I don't even know what I'm having for lunch tomorrow. So when people ask about like 5-year plans, I start to get a little weird.
So my next question is, what's your 5-year plan?
Is that actually your next question?
No. No.
Oh, thank God.
No, that's badass. You never welded before. You
Nope.
just went from UPS and you're just like, hey, I'm gonna pick up this rod and like make fire with it, and
Yep.
like boom, here we are. That is fucking badass.
I don't know. I was super worried that I'd be like the worst. Because all these kids were like, oh, yeah, this is my third welding class, or I started welding in high school, or, I was like the oldest person in there, and I don't know, felt super out of it. And I saw some of these other welds that other kids were turning in, and I suddenly felt a lot more confident. It's like, I've got this. Like, this isn't bad.
You're That's incredible. You're gonna go on in life, like to somewhere else or whatever it is you end up doing after whatever this ends, and like they're gonna be like, "Have you ever welded before?" We're like, "Oh boy, let me show you." But you don't have like a cert or you don't have certs or anything. But you're just like,
Mm-mm.
I can build you a whole ass fucking building. One day you're gonna say that.
That would be really cool.
That would be badass.
You want to
Good
hear
for
something
you.
super cool?
Of course,
We technically built a building 2 weeks ago.
it's already happened. See, look at that. Like, I don't know. I'm the Simpsons, and I just called whatever just happened.
We got a call and we got this job. We built two 1,400 square foot modular homes. We just did the framing for it. We didn't build the whole houses, but we shipped those up and sent them out to Hawaii.
Hey, Truly is in Hawaii. I don't know if you follow the group chat too much, but like Truly is an ambassador with Troll, and she's in Hawaii.
Yes, I have seen her stuff. She does like a lot of stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think she's like
Like
a
a
Jill of all
Jill
trades.
of
Like
all
she,
trades
yeah,
type of.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's
definitely
badass.
seen her. Hell
I
yeah.
I had no idea what she did, and then one day she's like trimming trees, and then she's welding, and then she's fixing a
Woodworking.
car and woodworking, and I'm just like, is there anything you can't do? Like, man, I can't even cook barely, right? I can't fucking, I could barely tell you where fucking engine oil goes, and she's just doing everything.
Dude, she's incredible. That's amazing.
Yeah, definitely is. Um, that's what you're doing is incredible though. That's amazing. Like
Thank you.
you've only technically really, I guess, management isn't blue collar, but like you've only technically, I guess, been blue collar for like 2 months, and you're already in with Troll, right? You're already
Yep.
affiliated. Like, how did that happen? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them?
So I had a couple of their shirts. My husband showed me them about a year and a half ago. And I just really liked it from the get go. Dirty hands, clean money. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
here for it. Just that grimy. I like getting my hands dirty. I like fixing shit. And I started just tagging them in random shit that I was wearing their shirts in. And someone in the group actually sent my profile over to, I'm assuming Tron, our
Yeah.
like handler guy. And then I filled out the application and he got back to me like the next day. It was super
Fuck.
cool.
That is badass.
I don't know.
That's
I actually like screenshotted it, messaged it to Troll. I was like, is this legit? Like, I don't know. It felt too real or too unreal. Oh boy, words.
words. Words are difficult. I have a hard
Words.
time with words and letters.
Oh man, the numbers don't get me started.
Have you seen? Oh my god, you're a welder. You should figure those out.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know. Have you seen those hard hat watches?
Yeah, was it you who was talking about you want to suck it up through a vac truck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Yeah. By the time this episode comes out, I
garbage.
will have already gotten my hard hat watch. It should be here within like a week and a half, right?
Oh
So
hell yeah.
they reached out to me. I've been following them and liking them, and they followed me back, and they like all my shit. Then they reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, would you like a watch? Like we're expanding into Canada. It's a
Hell
smartwatch. This
yeah.
watch does like so much cool shit. It's everything like a smartwatch does, except for it lasts for 2 weeks instead of 2 days, the battery life. Like it's waterproof, dustproof. It's basically bulletproof. And the buddy threw it off like 4 stories and it landed on the ground, and that would have destroyed an Apple Watch. And another guy like running over with a Packer. It's still there. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I'll give you the good old oil field test if you want. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to suck it up to the vac truck. That's going to be full of every chemical the oil field has to offer. Let's see if it's really waterproof and dustproof and resistant to this shit and that shit. Never mind that. Sucking it up to the vac truck itself is going to be a ride, right?
That's going to be wild.
It's going to be jingling around in there and shit. Then I'm going to get it out, and we're going to see if it still holds up, if it's still good. And I can't wait to see this.
So you're how big is this tank? How much stuff do you have to dig through to get this watch back?
All depends on how much it holds. 10 cubes, you know, so 10 cubes is 10,000 liters of, you know, whatever we're sucking out. Could be dirt, could be fluid, water, could be chemical, anything. Literally, I could suck it up in one of the vac trucks that we use as a shit truck. So, you know, like I could suck it up in shit. We'll see. I don't want to do that, but like, you know, that could be wild. I'm excited to see this. Hell yeah. So, like, do you leave home? Like, do you like travel away from your home? Like, you know, like not your home. Obviously, you go away from home, but like, do you do overnights anywhere yet, or like?
Not yet. I think that'd be cool, but not right now. Our son is still pretty young. He's quite the handful, and we just got a puppy. So
I saw that. I saw that puppy. You got it like 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
What'd you name it?
Bear.
Bear. That dog's cute.
Thank you.
That looks like a dog that'll be taking you for a walk one day.
Oh, he's gonna outweigh me for sure.
Yeah. What kind of dog is it?
He's pit bull Rottweiler boxer mix.
That is one big ball of rage that you just got there. Good for you.
Yeah, we're super excited. And he's still got his ears and his tail. I hate when people clip them.
Yeah, that's just so our mechanic, he's got, I can't remember the name of the kind of dog, but he's got 2 of them, and one of them is a Corso, and one of them is a Corso mix, but it's something else. I can't remember. This is a big dog. It's only a year old, and it's like as tall as I am, and I'm not very tall. So like he's a year old, and he was humping me. Right? Kept humping me, and I was joking around. When he helped me, I pushed back a little bit. I'm like, yeah, you know, like, and it was fucking weird. They took the video of it, and the mechanic a couple days later, we're at his house, and he's like, hey, he's like, don't let the dog hump you this time. And I'm like, oh, he's like, I got a collar on him, a shock collar, right? And I haven't had to use it yet. And so the dog gets on me, starts humping me. He wouldn't hump anyone else, just me. I'm like, this is weird, right? So he's humping me, right? And he goes to press the button, but it didn't work. He didn't put the collar on tight enough. So he called the dog down. He tightens it up. The dog is standing like in front of me, like we're face to face. We're at eye level, and like we're looking at each other in the eyes. And he's humping, and he presses the button, and the dog like
so intense.
Like all I saw was teeth and like yelping. Like, I thought this dog was ripping my face apart.
Oh, no.
He fucks off somewhere in the yard, and a couple minutes later he comes back. The mechanic has the remote in his pocket, and he leans over to get something, and he accidentally hits the button, and the dog was near me, right? The dog just fucked right off. It's been 4 or 5 days now. When the dog's around and I come around, the dog leaves. He won't even come near me. Won't even look at me. I made an impression.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's one leg he won't be humping anymore. So yeah. I feel terrible. I love that dog. I want to play with that dog, right? But he hates me. He won't even come near me now.
Oh
god. So
training.
So have you noticed a difference, you know, between the UPS and whatnot? Like, did you get home at a decent time before, and now it's like kind of later, and you got to leave earlier? And
so I only worked part-time at UPS, but my hours were super whack. I'd wake up at about 1 a.m., give or take, and then I'd be home around 9 a.m., give or take a couple hours.
Yeah, that would suck.
So now I get to like sleep until about 4:15, 4:45, and then I'm home about 12 hours later. So not
That's
terrible.
that's not bad. You still get home around what, dinner time. That's not
Yeah.
bad. Like I have some pretty whack hours myself. Like I'm on call 24/7. So like,
Yeah, I can
like
imagine that.
yeah, it's brutal. And then there's days where I'm on the end of the vac hose or wash one or whatever I am for like I've been at work for up to 40 some odd hours straight at a time, right? And like there's just you get no time to yourself, right? Every time that phone rings, you just dread it. You're there to work, but like oh, like
Yeah.
sometimes it's just like, hey, give me a day to myself, Like last week, I'm getting old, I just realized this last week. I was doing this, we are cleaning these tanks for like 5, 6 days. And I had to go under air for 12 hours a day to do this. And you get physical under air, the air is stale. It's hard on the body.
Yeah.
And I remember 10 years ago I could do that no problem, in and out, like I crush it, right? After like a few hours of that, I'm just like, oh, I'm dying, right? I go back to my room every night. I'll just crawl into my bed and just like go into the fetal position and just like rock myself to sleep in tears, right?
Yeah.
And like fucking after like 6 days of that, I got out and I said to my boss, I'm like, buddy, I need the day off. Just give me one day to collect myself and then I'll be back. He's like, no, I need you. So I went out and I just like bitter about it the whole day. It's like just wanted one day, man.
I'll go. I'm going to complain the whole time.
Actually, there were 6 of us, and not everybody was needed. It's slow right now for spring breakup. The ice is thawing, and so it makes the oil field really really muddy. So work slows down until the ground like dries up, and it's drying up real quick. But so he was just trying to give everyone hours, and I'm like, man, I didn't need hours. I just fucking worked 6 days, like I worked a lot of hours the last bit. Hardly anyone worked, and so there were 6 of us, and I just sat on the berm and watched everybody do stuff all day. And I'm like, yeah, you made me come to work today. I'm about to make it everybody's problem, right? And I sat there, and Buddy comes up. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm counting the number of bolts in that door over there. Leave me alone." Like, and I got 11 hours out of it. I just sat there, literally just sat there, and but everyone understood. They knew what I just come from, right? So they're like, "Hey, man, like, no one's blaming you."
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it was great. So you actually probably get to see your kids a lot more now, right? Like at 5 o'clock. No, about the
It
same probably.
it feels like less, but I don't know. I could be biased because I don't know. My daughter's in school now, so it's a little different. I don't know. It feels like fuck. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Not a trap, but it's a joke. Like it once your kids start going to school, it's like, man, we only get like 2, 3 hours with them, and that's it. Especially
Yeah.
if you're not there in the mornings for like getting them ready for school and dropping them off. Like, I don't know. I feel like I never see them, but
Yeah, that's why they when they allowed women into the workforce, what that was all about was just adding more taxpayers to the economy, right?
right.
And they that's why they make life so unaffordable, is because they want both parents out of the house. They want both parents working, right. The more people they can have, watching after your children and molding their minds to become little worker bees for the future,
Yep.
like it's true.
Hmm.
My wife gets to be a stay-at-home mom. I work enough and I make enough, and she gets to be a stay-at-home mom. The government fucking hates that.
Yeah.
Like that's one more taxpayer I've taken out off the shelf, right? Like, hey, you're not getting no money from her, bro. And but that's all right. They take enough for fucking both of us, so off me.
Right.
So like, it's whatever. And it's a little different in America compared to Canada.
I
I
was
think
gonna say, and you're Canadian, so
I'm
they're
taxed to death.
expensive. I've heard.
I'm taxed to death. They tax my tax, which is crazy. Like you guys pay for your healthcare and shit. Well, so do we. We pay for it in the form of taxes, right? Our healthcare is not free. So, and you get what you pay for too. Remember that.
Yeah. Don't you guys pay like, I don't know, almost like 50% in taxes or something like that?
Yeah, it's coming up to that if it's not already there for sure. Definitely. Yep. Yeah,
That's
it's
insane.
nuts. Yeah, and they tax you on everything, right? Like after your money's been taxed, everything you buy after that is taxed again, right? So like the taxes never stop. We pay a carbon tax. You guys probably don't pay a carbon tax in the US. We pay a carbon tax, so which is complete bullshit. But that's a story for another time. It's actually one of our federal parties in Canada, political parties, is actually like made a complete shift from the far left supporting the current government stance on it to the far right to support the government over there. There's a reason why he's doing it. He's sucking the teat of the next bull in charge. I get it, but like it's just funny to watch.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, yeah. So fucking Mother's Day, eh? Like it's this month anyway. I wouldn't say it's today, but like it's this month, and that's fucking exciting, right? Like for moms everywhere, like it's wild. So I'm gonna make a joke. I don't know how it's gonna come off, but so it's like on
Right.
Mother's Day, the dad is expected to take the kids away from the mom for a few hours. Like hey, give mom a break, let her relax and go over here and chill, right? On Father's Day, the dad's expected to spend all day with his kids, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, no. Hey, how about a little bit of that equality you're spreading around over here? Like they'll take some, but no, I don't care. I'd spend all day with my kids anyway because I work away so much, right? So like,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, this year, I have no idea what we're going to do for Father's Day because Father's Day is also my husband's birthday and it's also our wedding anniversary.
Oh shit.
So it's a threefer.
Wedding anniversary, husband's birthday, and Father's Day. Somebody's getting laid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
shit. No, good for both of you. Fuck.
Yes. Thank you.
I love that. It's a three for oh man, what are you doing that day? What do you
I don't know. It's quite the wombo combo. I don't know what we're doing.
oh my
Last year
god.
we went to Grenada and that was really cool. We didn't have a honeymoon, so we did something nice for a 2 year.
Wife and I didn't have a honeymoon right away either, and then I think it was like 5 years in we went to Disney World. It was
Oh,
my birthday. Yeah, it was actually I think my birthday, her birthday, and like a honeymoon.
are you guys' birthdays close?
Same month, like 24 days apart.
Okay.
We actually went on my birthday, so like I got the birthday badge, and like we got to go to the front of the line for all the rides, and I just wore that shit all weekend. I'm like,
Oh,
it's my
hell yeah.
birthday, and like even the day after, I was still getting free shit, right? And we bought this wine or champagne or something from the France Pavilion in Disney World. I don't know if you've been to Epcot.
Mm-mm.
Bought some
Never,
wine.
never been to either of the Disneys.
Paid like $17 for this glass of champagne. It was, and I didn't even like it. I took a sip and I'm like, oh, this is disgusting.
Champagne's gross.
So, oh, you're damn right it is. So, what do we do? Like, how do you start that day, and like, what do you do throughout it? I know what you're doing at the end of the day, but like,
Right.
fucking, how do you start that day? You could like celebrate all three things like at once, or you'll wake up, happy birthday, and then they like come downstairs and make dad fucking breakfast because happy Father's Day, and then the rest of the day is for your anniversary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like we got a lot of options going on here.
you definitely do. Someone's getting pregnant again.
Oh, fuck no. That's why we just got a puppy. That was our compromise to a third.
Oh shit! Are you like snippy?
I've asked him to, but we're.
You asked them to take the bullets out of the gun. Nice.
I had horrible pregnancies. I didn't think I'd have a second. And I was like, you know what? Like maybe it'll be different second time around. It wasn't. So
What's your husband do?
he works at Target He's a
Nice.
warehouse worker, lead warehouse worker, excuse me. So
Shout out to Tarjay.
yeah, that's actually where we met. So
Whoa, that's
yeah,
romantic as fuck. Like you're just both in line at Starbucks.
I love making the joke. Like, yeah, I found my husband at Target. I don't know where you guys got yours, but
No, that's badass. I know in the States, I know when they were in Canada, they folded like a lawn chair real quick here. They lost like $1 billion on their Target adventure in Canada. And they're coming back in a small capacity or some shit. But like, yeah, Target's like one of my favorite places to go. Whenever we go to the US, we live above Montana. So like we go to Montana a
okay.
lot, right? And you're once a year anyway. And when we go to a place. We make sure the town has a Target and a Chick-fil-A.
Oh, love Chick-fil-A. Love
Oh
the
yeah,
sauce.
Lord's Chicken, man. You know, like we go for the Lord's Chicken. If we don't have a Target or a Chick-fil-A, we're out.
Yep, eat more chicken.
That's right. Fucking some about like American Walmart too just does something to me, you know, like
Do you
American
guys
Walmarts.
have Walmarts?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we have Walmarts. It's like 2024. We're getting a Chick-fil-A out here where I live. There's some back east now in Canada. They're finally expanding this way.
No kidding.
Hell yeah!
I don't know. I've always wanted to go to Canada, but
You've never been to Canada?
I don't think I can go to Canada.
Why? What did you do?
Okay, is it true you can't go to Canada if you've got like a criminal record?
So yeah, my dad can't get into the States or couldn't for a while because he had a DUI or something like that on his record. But he went for a pardon or something like that. I don't know if he's gotten it since then. We haven't talked in a long time, but there are people that, you know, depending on what you've done, I guess they've forgiven it, they've pardoned it. You write a note and pay some money and yada yada yada. You go over. So, yeah. What did you do? What did you do?
So I feel like I should start this story with I am over 4 years sober.
Good for you.
Celebrated back in February. But back when I was 21, I was, how do you say, raging alcoholic. I got a couple DUIs within a couple of weeks of each other, and I crashed a couple cars. I don't know. It was rough.
I see why you became a welder now.
Oh yeah.
You're just hey, well, what do I fit? Where do I fit in the blue collar world? You know what? I
Honestly,
like my beer.
I like where I work. I fit in pretty well, I think. Not to
Eh,
toot my own horn, but
No, hey, that's you know what, like fitting in. Like you're not there to fit in, but when you fit in, it's a lot better. It's a lot easier
it
on you,
is.
right? And you know, like you're not going to work like, oh, what landmines do I have to avoid today? You know, you just show up
Seems
and you're
stupid.
able to do your work. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah. Um, fuck, where was I going with that? Like,
I
yeah,
have no
so
idea.
so like how how did you decide to get sober? Like, why did you like? When you just didn't couldn't find any more cool cars or what? Like, I don't.
So the second one I crashed was a pretty cool car.
What
So
was it? What was
it
it?
was a Volt.
A
I
Chevy
don't know.
Volt?
It was my brother's car. Yeah.
A Volt?
I don't know. It sounded like a spaceship when you started it.
How mad was your brother?
Well, he was a lot less mad when he found out I almost died. So,
Well,
and he got
that's good. Hey, it was a write off, right? You were just helping him out. He was just trying to get out of them payments, you know, and you helped him get out of them.
he liked his new one more, so it worked out. But no, I so the second DUI, I drove into a parked Escalade going about 60, and I ended up rupturing my spleen, and got emergency surgery, all that. They removed the spleen. Uh, They told me they wanted me to be prepared for the possibility of waking up with a colostomy bag because they thought I'd ruptured my colon too.
Wow.
Obviously, it didn't happen. But when I woke up, they explained to me that without a spleen, I wouldn't be able to drink anymore. And I don't know, I was out of it. I don't know what I was on, but I
It
remember
was
asking
good.
like how long until I can drink, and they were like, I don't think you understand. Like you lost the organ that like helps filter out your blood. Like you can't drink ever again. And then a couple weeks I started drinking again. So took about a year of drinking and feeling like shit all the time. And I don't know, took a couple tries, finally one stuck.
Hell yeah.
It was,
Hey,
I
you
don't
know
know,
what?
everyone's got some like big event, like this happened and I stopped. Like, I don't know, it just
Well,
took a
it
lot of
happened.
effort.
Your big event just happened to you had to go. Like there was a year-long delay there, but the big event finally is like hey, I gotta stop.
Yeah,
Good, whatever it took. That's it. Like you finally figured it out.
yeah, I don't know.
Go all in, eh? Like there was no there. At least you weren't half in, half out. You hit full send, no breaks.
Full
Quite
send.
literally,
Thanks.
quite literally. And at least you
Literally.
didn't cheap out and hit like a Firefly or a fucking Pontiac or something. You're like, hey, look at that Escalade over there. Let's go fuck it up. Like
Go big or go home.
absolutely.
And I was too drunk to go home, so
Can't go there, so might as well
can't go
go
there.
into the back of this Escalade.
Mhm.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations for I stopping drinking, whether whether you wanted to or not, you still did
Thank
it.
you.
So shout out to that.
I
It's
definitely
huge.
wanted to. It was just took some effort.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. When you want to stop doing something, but it's your vice, right? Like you can't, you physically can't, right?
Right.
You're trying. Like me, I pick my nose religiously, right? Like I want to stop, but how?
Ooh, you just cut out really bad.
I gotta what? Can
Can
you
you
hear
hear
me?
me?
I can hear you. Yeah,
I can hear you.
you
You
can
just
hear
cut
me.
out really bad. Or maybe I cut out. I don't know.
Did you hear the thing about my vice?
No, I didn't.
Wow, so maybe it'll be funnier the second time. So, so like my vice is like picking my nose. I pick my nose religiously, right? I can't stop, right? Well, like I know I have to stop. My parents told me if I don't stop, my brain's gonna cave in, right? I'm still waiting on that to happen. Maybe I need a life changing event like that to happen in order to stop. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe you need to
Oh, can you hear me?
maybe you need to accidentally scratch your brain one day and it'll
My eye socket.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah,
Oh boy.
I can hear you.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, oh,
I can hear you.
you can hear me?
Sometimes yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
That
excellent. I
was
think there
super
might be a
weird.
little bit of a
Sometimes
delay there, but
I think my husband steals the Wi-Fi.
what's he? Oh, it's that porn, right?
I don't not right now. I'm still awake.
Oh, you're busy. You're busy. You don't.
I'm just
You don't.
kidding. It could be. I don't know.
So
I'm busy.
when I went down your Instagram page, I thought you were younger, right? Like you look on your videos, you look like you're, geez, I don't know. I thought you were like early to mid to late 30s or 20s, I'd say mid to late 20s. I was like, oh, look how young. She's welder in progress. She's learning how to weld. So I thought you were young, right? And here you are, two kids, a husband, a new dog.
And then I actually own my house. It was my 24th birthday present to myself.
Good for you.
and I'm only 27. So
Hey, 27. At least you quit the thing that was going to kill you before you turned 27
they
and
told me
joined the 27 club.
they told me if I didn't quit, I probably wouldn't live another 10 years. So
Fuck,
that's
good for
good.
you. You could have joined the 27 club. Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse, like
Marilyn Manson,
Marilyn Manson's not dead, is he?
or not Marilyn Manson, Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe. It's hard to believe that she was only 27, right? Like you hear so much about her, and like she had this long, illustrious career, but she was only 27.
Marilyn Monroe. And that, fuck, who else? There's quite a few.
Oh, there's a long list for sure.
There's a long list.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, do you know what viscosity is?
Viscosity? Yeah.
Yeah. What is viscosity?
Like the thickness of a substance.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
how much thickness a substance is.
Yeah, like the thickness of a load, right? Like
Of a load. Yeah.
hey, you're perf and I like it. Yeah, I like
Blue collar, baby.
Hell yeah, shout out. So where I'm going with it is the podcast is sponsored by the Mudman. And the Mudman, if you don't know anything about the rigs, he deals in, getting the mud the mud, the drilling fluid to its proper viscosity. If it needs to be thickened up, if it needs to be thinned out, he's there to adjust the viscosity, And so,
Okay.
he's the Mud Man. He sponsors the podcast. Solid dude, solid individual. Owe a lot to him. So www.mudmarket.com for all your drilling fluids and laboratory testing equipment needs. The Mudman's got your back and your front. Yeah. Hey.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. He was married a few months ago. He got married a few months ago. So, shout out to everything the Mudman's been through in the last 365 days. Only killing it even more. His business is thriving. His marriage is thriving. Maybe there's a baby in the future. Who knows? Yeah?
Who knows?
He's pumping viscosity. I don't know. Shout out to the Mud
for his sake. Let's.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the Mudman's good shit. We met. We came across each other on Instagram actually, and we started talking and we got to know each other, before the podcast was even a thing. And then, I started the podcast and a few episodes and he's like, hey, and he came to me with the sponsor idea. It was only supposed to last 5 episodes. And, that was on episode 14. This is like episode 71-ish, 70, I don't know, somewhere around there. You there?
Yeah, sorry, it cut out.
No worries. Are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
You're on the Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi. It's all good.
All good.
So, if you had other interests like in other trades, like not technology, right, but other trades, like what other trade sparks your interest? Like you chose the welding path. Like if you had to choose all over again, like and welding wasn't an option, but like there was another trade on the table, what would you have taken?
Electrical, probably.
Electrical. Fuck, you just going for all the Kleenex. Good for you. No, it's not bad. I'm friends with some electricians. There's some electricians in the group there. They're good shit. We got Meg and Lexi and stuff like that. They're nice people.
They're nice people. That's what people say. No.
Yeah. They hide the tears well.
Yeah, of course they do.
Absolutely. Oh shit. So let's backtrack a little bit to the alcohol thing. Like, how was your? I like to talk about mental health a lot too on the podcast. So like, Like, how is, the mental health with all that? Did that play a role in like the alcohol? Could we call it abuse? I don't know. The alcohol abuse.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. This sounds kind of depressing, but like I've struggled with depression pretty much my whole life, like as long as I can remember, even as like a child. And I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy now, but we're working on it. We're getting there.
Hey, it's a work in progress. Welder in progress, work in progress
There
on
you
on the
go.
mental health, right? You'll never ever so mental health never goes away, right? Like
No, absolutely.
it'll never go away. You'll learn to deal with it and you'll learn how to mitigate those issues, right?
Yeah,
And you'll learn what triggers it and what when it's coming on and you know you just learn to what works for you, right? And everyone's different, but like it never really goes away. And we got to stop treating it like mental health is something that you just like grow up. And we're getting better at it, but like we need to do better at like treating it like it's something that's just gonna go away because it's not,
right.
right?
No,
Yeah.
it's definitely a big issue, and I don't know, especially with I don't know, I won't get into like the politics of it, but like a lot of the homeless issue could be solved if we start focusing on like mental health, and I don't know, there are, I feel, a lot of things that would be changed if the perspective was maybe shifted a little bit, but I don't know.
Yep. Yeah.
All the
Here in here,
time.
here in Canada, we have actually a homeless crisis, homeless, I don't know, housing crisis. We're having a housing crisis right now in Canada
Okay.
where we have too many people and not enough houses, and there are a lot, and the cost of living too is also contributing to this too. Like it's expensive to live here, right?
Yeah.
And and the wages aren't going up, but everything else is. And we're having issues with that. And a lot of people have found themselves on the street. And when they're on the street, they're down on their luck. Their mind is not where it needs to be, or whatever it should be. And they get into band-aids to help take their mind off that. Like the fentanyl pandemic epidemic is out of control,
Okay.
and all this other shit, and um we've talked about it before, like a lot of people are too proud to ask for help when they need it, right? They're like, hey, I got this, I'm gonna get out of this on my own, and then it kind of gets out of control, and it gets to the point where they can't handle it, right? They
Right.
don't have it, right? And you know right now it's a bad scenario, a bad situation. Like where I live, um, there's a massive tent city not far from where I'm living right now, and we drive by there, and your heart just sinks and breaks. Right? It's like that's we're all one layoff, one dip in the economy, one or two bad months away from being where they are. Right?
Yeah.
And that's heartbreaking.
And especially in some place like Canada, it's not like you can just camp out on the beach and stay nice and warm.
I live in Alberta. We're landlocked.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah. It's cold in the wintertime.
Yeah, that's
It's
what I mean. Like,
nasty.
it's going to be freezing.
Oh yeah, it's nasty, man. Like there's a lot of things that you know I can't just blame it on the current federal government. A lot of it has to do with that, but it's not just his fault, right? There's a lot of contributing factors going on here, right? And I don't know. I don't know how we get out of this mess. I don't know where we need to go. And I think that's everybody's issue, including the government. Like where do we go? What do we do? The people we're looking to get us or guide us through this, they're just as lost and confused as we are.
Right. And like, I don't know, all of these solutions, like there are solutions, but nobody wants to hear them. They're not
No.
good solutions.
No,
Like,
especially
I can solve world hunger right now.
yep, the solution isn't good. But like um hey, yeah, never mind. I was gonna make a joke about that, but I can't. It's kind of funny, but like I don't know if anyone else would see it that way. Oh shit.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, do you work tomorrow?
I do.
What are you working on tomorrow?
No idea.
You just show up and it's like, hey, this is what we got you to do, and you just go and do it.
We've been pretty slow this week, so I've actually been back in the machine shop. I've
Oh
been
yeah,
working on the CNC, making parts so I can bring them back and weld them.
there you
So,
go. There you go. I like your mentality, your attitude that you have too. I seen a lot of your videos where you're just like, hey, you know what, like I don't like the people that say that's not my job, right? Like
yeah.
someone asks you to do something, it's like, oh, that's not my job, right? Like, no, I'm here. It needs to be done. Let's do it,
Yep.
right?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's I like that mentality, and I wish I could say I've never been like, hey, that's not my job, right?
I
But
mean,
yeah, I've been
said
there a
it
lot.
before. I'd be a liar if I said I hadn't, but
Yeah,
I mean, for the most part, like, there's definitely a fine line between helping out and being a yes man. Like, you definitely don't want to just sit there and say, yeah, like, I'll do whatever you need me to. Because then you get stuck doing all the fucking bitch work. Like, you need to know when to put your foot down and be like, no, man, like, you got to find someone else to do that. Like,
absolutely.
if you need help with this, I'll totally help you out. But you're on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. I work with a lot of I've worked and I work with a lot of people that are like take advantage of almost everyone around them, right? Like, hey, I don't want to do my work. Can you give me a hand with this? And then you start giving them a hand and they disappear, right? And
Yep.
then it's like I not you didn't just give them a hand, they just conned you into doing it. Right.
Yes.
And yeah, so like you gotta know the kind of people you're dealing with when it comes to that as well, so you don't fall into that trap, right? And it's like,
Right.
oh man, yeah,
So definitely a fine line, but I think once you learn that line, you definitely become more of an asset. They're going to come to you before they come to someone else. And hey, I need help with this job. Who would you recommend? Like, oh, I've got someone great. Like, she always helps out. She's willing to do whatever, blah, blah, blah.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. And that's how word of mouth spreads. You're new, right? So like that's how
Right,
word of mouth spreads,
exactly.
right? Like, hey, how do I get the next job? Well, this guy goes to this guy. Hey, who do you recommend I hire? Oh fuck, Anna's badass. She goes above and beyond. She'll do whatever you want her to outside of like abusing that power. Like she's got you. And he's like, great, I want her. Right, word of mouth, reputation.
Yep. You want to be sworn by, not sworn at.
Hey, you know what? I work in the oil and gas industry. I'm both
Yeah.
by the same person at the same time. Yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
do your own work back? You're like, who the fuck did this? And you're like, oh, wait, this is mine.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Uncle Hack said it best. And Uncle Hack, for me, you probably don't know who Uncle Hack is, but in the oil field, he's fucking a legend, right? And in Alberta. And he had a video that said it best. It was like unwritten rules of the oil patch, right? And one of the rules was everyone is useless, right? He's like, now that's even going to include yourself. You're useless too, right? You could be the hardest
Oh,
worker
yeah.
out there. You could be the hardest worker out there. You're useless. Just remember, you're not actually useless, but everyone else is going to call you useless, especially when they're sitting there watching you do the work, right? It's easy to sit there and watch somebody fuck up than it is to actually get out and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when you're watching, of course you're gonna see where the flaws are and whatever someone else is doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's I Google that video when you get the chance. Type in Uncle Hack on Google for one, and go down his content. You won't be disappointed. I'll just say you're welcome right now, right? Because even if you don't work in the oil field, like you'll still find it funny. It's
Yeah.
funny
I'm
shit.
gonna be honest, man. Send it to me with that other profile.
Oh
Otherwise,
yeah,
it's never gonna happen.
oh yeah, no, and I say that to people all the time. Like, hey man, send it to me because I ain't gonna remember,
Nope.
right? Yeah, no, it's just not gonna happen.
Nah, I've got like two brain cells. One's sad, one's stupid. Like, we're not getting a lot done. I need all the help I can get.
Oh shit! I love that. Hey, I got two. One is sad and one is stupid. There's no other brain cells there.
Or I've got 3 brain cells and they're both fighting for 3rd place.
I love that. Shit, and that's only gonna get worse the more you start welding, right? So those welding fumes ain't gonna help with that.
No, and I work on galvanized steel, so got the extra spicy air.
Oh, why is that spicy?
That's spicy.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
That's
That all the time.
Yeah. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I'm going to go and celebrate the Taylor Swift thing with them. And it's like closing in on midnight for you as well. So, and you got to work in the morning, I assume. Right. Yeah. So, I like to end the podcast, with one last question there. And it's Mount Rushmore has 4 of the most influential people in North America on the face of the rock. If you could have your own Mount Rushmore with 4 people that you look up to or inspire to be or that inspire you, who would they be and why?
That's a question.
That is. It sure is, right?
Question. So if you had asked me this 5 years ago, I probably wouldn't have said any, or 7. If you'd asked me 7 years ago, I wouldn't have had an answer at all. Now I feel like I've got a lot, so I'm gotta narrow it down, pick them out. I guess first I would say my mother, but not for the reasons that everyone else would choose their parent. I guess my mother is someone I aspire not to be.
That's number 1 on my rock is my dad for the exact same reason.
Hell
yeah. Man, I like you.
You know what? You're pretty decent yourself, man.
I try.
But no, the older I get, the more I see, and especially once you become a parent, there's just certain things that you see differently, and you look back on your childhood and you're kind of like, what was that? We're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So definitely my mom. Second would be my husband and kids. I don't know if I can combine them.
Hell yeah. My kids are on one rock themselves, so.
Yeah, okay, there you go. My husband, my kids. They're my rock. That's solid foundation right there. I don't know. I don't necessarily give a shit about myself as much as I know I should. So it's nice, I guess, having someone in the back that, reminds me I'm doing this for them. It doesn't matter when I'm tired or whatever. It's not for me. That's 2. 3 would be my mother-in-law for sure.
Oh, shit.
I feel really bad for people who don't like their in-laws. Mine are phenomenal.
Well, I'll take your sympathy, I guess.
I don't know. Sorry, man.
Hey, my in-laws are fucking trashy motherfuckers. They're they're good people to someone, I guess. And if those someone just happen to be my children, then fuck, that's all that matters. They're good to them. Fuck it.
Yep, that's a tricky one. But no, definitely my mother-in-law. She has taught me a lot about not only being a mother, but being a human. I don't know, just the amount of love that I feel when I'm with her. It's so genuine. It's man, I fucking missed out on this shit. This is what I wanted. I don't know. So definitely her. 4th one. I don't have to know these people, correct?
They could be fiction, nonfiction, real, not real, dead, alive.
I'm going to go with micro. So I know you've been trying to get him on the podcast a while, but that was like my OG introduction to like blue collar. Like back before I even knew what blue collar was. Like just watching him go around, do all these dirty jobs. I remember one, it was like a construction episode. Just like picked up a sledgehammer and started like smashing these walls. It's like, man, this is awesome.
Shout out to Mike Rowe. I'd let him smash my walls.
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
fuck yeah. Shout out to Mike Rowe. Yeah, no, that man is absolutely badass. I truly believe he could walk into about any situation and be like, so this is what we should do. Like, this is how we're going to handle this one.
Do you follow him anywhere?
On Instagram, I think.
Like, not is he just like the king of fucking dirty jobs, but the guy is an actual genuine gem of a human being.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
go follow him on Facebook. I don't think he posts the same shit everywhere, but
Okay.
go follow him on Facebook. Like, you know, the guy goes around like he walks into a barber shop and he like struck a conversation with a barber, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we met like 10 years ago." Right, and he's like, "What? Where?" And and then the guy pulls out a picture, and sure enough, and Mike's like, "I remember that conversation," right? And like,
No way.
yeah, and then they're buddies, right? And like the guy has a story about everything. He jumped into a cab and had like a conversation of a lifetime with a cab driver, right? And that's why the podcast exists.
Yeah.
We're going for a fucking drive right now, and you don't know what you're gonna learn about the person in the back seat.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And Mike Rowe, man, like fucking king of dirty jobs and just an excellent conversationalist. Has his own podcast too.
Really? I'll need to check that out.
Yeah, has his own, I think, whiskey, Noble whiskey. Yeah. Hey.
Very cool.
Mike Rowe. I'm trying to get the guy. I gotta know everything from the whiskey to the underwear to what kind of socks this man puts on and in what order he gets dressed. So
Mike Rowe, if you're listening, we are all steadily awaiting an episode with you.
An episode with Mike Rowe on the throne with Dick. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. No, fuck, I love when people bring that up. I love when people ask about it. You get Mike Rowe on yet? That's just gonna 100% be a clip.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Just tag him in it everywhere I can.
Fuck yeah, do it. Absolutely.
Fuck
tag him enough times, so he'll have
to. Oh, one day. Hey, until that man is like dead and in the grave, I will not stop.
Keep at it. Perseverance.
His dad is old as fuck and he's still kicking. And his mom is old and she's still kicking. His dad just had a heart attack a couple weeks ago. Dude is like back doing everything he was doing prior to that. I think he's like 80. But like, you know,
it's crazy.
He's still going.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a strong group of people to be influenced by, you know. And number one, my dad's up there too for the same reason, right? Like as I got older, you know, as a kid, my best friend, you know, I looked up to him. He was fucking Superman. The guy had a cape on, right? You get older, that cape starts showing a little bit of holes in it, right? A little bit of frailing. Yeah. And then, you know, you get older and you have your own kids and you're like, man, there's no way in hell I would treat my kids that way, right? And you know, he wasn't necessarily rough on me. He was definitely lazy. He didn't show me how to do a lot of shit, right? That I wish, you know, if I ever get the opportunity to have a boy, you know, 100% I'll be showing him, but I'm also going to be showing my daughters as soon as I can, right? Like, hey, we need to learn this. You know, it's not academic, but it's going to be shit you're going to need in life. It's going to be street cred, right? Street knowledge, not fucking, and life knowledge, not like academic shit. I'll still try to help them out that way too. But, you know, I seen a lot of videos about parenting and shit like that, and my wife sends them to me, and I see them. One of them was like, we're millennial parents. We're learning how to deal with our emotions alongside our children because we were never taught that. Our parents,
Absolutely.
how old are you? Are you a millennial? How old are you?
27, so I was born in 97.
So I think you might be like the back end of the millennial, the start of
I'm a
Gen.
super weird.
Yeah, you're like a zillennial, right? Yeah. So like our parents, they had mental health issues and they didn't know how to deal with them, right?
Oh yeah.
And they took it out on everyone around them. My father-in-law's still doing it. And my dad too. And so they disappeared to go get drunk in the garage, right? And that's how they deal with it, and they treat it like shit. But like, so um they didn't know how to deal with their emotions. They'd scream, yell, they'd hit, they didn't call it discipline, right? We're gonna need some
I'll
discipline.
blister your bottom.
Yeah. We wouldn't hit our friends, so why would we hit our children, right? So I get mad at my kids, but I'd never ever like. There are times where I want to like just
Oh yeah.
but I'd never do it, right? I'd
No.
never do it. Not in a million years would I ever think about hitting my daughters, right?
No.
Now, would I yell? I try not to. We try to like, gentle parenting, but gentle parenting's for gentle children. My children are far from fucking
And
gentle.
these kids
right?
are assholes. I'll tell
They're
you.
assholes, right? Yeah. And so, we're trying to when things happen, we're trying to find new ways to come about it instead of just like our fucking blood pressure boils and comes to the top and we just explode on them, right? We're not trying to do that. We're trying to be like, hey, all right, obviously they need something, they're missing something. Let's figure it out before we blow up. Let's see, like, when I was super hyper, what did I want? I wanted attention from my parents, right? Like, all right, so you want attention. What kind of attention? Oh, you want to go outside. You want me to play dolls with you. You want me to do something with you. All right, let's figure it out. So, we're trying. We're trying. There are times where we absolutely fucking fail at it, 100%. Like my daughter.
Sometimes they'll keep coming.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just hope, and there's a lot of videos where you see like, hey, your kids come back to annoy you all the time because they feel safe around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I never did that with my dad. I was like, oh, I gotta steer clear of my dad, right? Because like he's not in the mood right now. It was fear. I didn't feel safe. That wasn't a safe spot, right? Turns out my best friend didn't have my best interests at heart, right? And that was like, okay. And he straight up told my little sister, the one that's here now, that he never wanted her, right? Like he actually, and I was there for it, like a different mom. He tried to get her to have an abortion, right? And my little sister should not know the details of that, but she does, right? And that's fucked up. That's right, fucked up, right? And yeah, so there's a lot of shit there, right? There's a lot of trauma, and we're working through it together, right? All of us, and yeah, it's a wild ride, when like back in the beginning of the pandemic, why this podcast exists, why my social media exists, right? Like back in the beginning of the pandemic, the pandemic didn't give me health issues, but or mental health issues, but it exposed them, right? It's like, hey, you know what? Here's some underlying issues you got, and I'm gonna show you what they are, right? And like I worked a lot. I couldn't go home. I couldn't fly back and forth, so I'd work for 6 months at a time, and I'd leave my family, and I spent 20 days at home in 2 years, and that really fucked me up. Well, when I was in a deep dark hole, you call it depression if you want. When I was in a deep dark hole, I discovered a lot about myself. Right? Yeah. Why I talk the way I talk, why I act the way I act, why I joke around the way that I do, right? And it all comes back down to trauma, right? And shit like that. And so I'm masking something, right? And we're working through that, right? Everyone could go see a therapist at some point. They should, even if you don't think you need one. You should definitely go check that out, right? And my 6-year-old daughter's in therapy, right? Like, and she's got super high anxiety. We don't know why, and could be a slew of things they're trying to rule out right now. But in the meantime, take her to therapy, and she's discovered so many techniques that when she starts blowing up, she starts breathing like an elephant, like a horse. She's like, and it calms her down, right? And like when she starts pissing me off, I'm just like, and I don't know if she picks up on that, but she's like, whoa, he's doing it too, right? And like, yeah, sometimes it fucking works, right? So I'm learning shit off my 6-year-old, right? Like,
That's
it's
awesome.
wild. It's wild.
There's they teach them like in school now too, even like she'll come home and we learn this technique for when we're feeling this or when we're feeling that.
Yeah.
I don't know, a super big one that we try to do. It's definitely aren't always present enough in the moment to like see it, but something we try to do is like talk it out as we're doing it. Like, all right, like I feel myself getting frustrated. Like I need a couple minutes. Like I'm walking away, not from you, but I'm walking away from me. Just
Yep.
instead of spewing out exactly what I want to say, I try to just, I don't know, like spell it out for her with my feelings.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like,
How old
all
is
right,
she?
she will be 7 in October.
Oh, you get it. You're exactly where I am right now.
Yeah.
Whoa, October what?
October 4th.
Oh, my daughter's October 21st.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, she'll be 7 in October. Yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, we're in the same boat.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's an
Yeah.
interesting time. Grade 1, 2. Like now they've got like their fucking little annoying friends influencing how they act, and it's like
Oh my god.
right now. Apparently, I'm fighting a little girl named Ariana. So like like when I take her to school next, like we're fighting, and I've got beef with Ariana's parents now too, right? Like like I got beef with her whole bloodline.
Yeah, no. Charles's parents. I'm ready.
Yeah, hey, Charles' parents, or Ariana's parents. I don't know you, but be ready. It's coming.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like we're going to war.
As soon as I meet them at a school function, they're getting a good old look up and down. I'm gonna stand there.
My daughter's lucky. The school she goes to is a little Catholic school, and I work with this guy I work with and his son. Um, they his so his son and I are closer than the dad, but um, his brothers and I guess the other guy's 2 sons, they go to the same school, and they've met before they went to the same school together. And so my coworker, I call him a friend. Don't ever tell anyone I said that, but I call him a friend. And he pretty much like made his 2 little brothers have a pact that they will protect my daughters at all costs.
Oh,
And
that's
these
so
two
cute.
little kids ride to battle for my daughter every chance they get. They're
Hell
together
yeah.
as dude, it's so cool, man.
Awesome.
Like, oh yeah, they were away. They went to Jamaica for 2 weeks here, and my daughter was just so lost, right? Like she's got a lot of friends and she hangs out with all of them, but like those 3 are always together.
Yeah. That's so cute.
Yeah, they're all like different grades. My daughter's grade 1, the other one's grade 2, and the other one I think is grade 4.
Okay.
So like yeah, they're the grade 4. I know the grade 4 is like he has taken his duties and his responsibilities very seriously. He's like,
good.
That girl over there, you got to get through me first. And he's a big boy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But unfortunately, one of them and my daughter got married on the playground a few months back, and like I wasn't invited, and I didn't give my blessing. So, I don't know if I'm gonna have to fight one of these kids next, but like they treat her good, so whatever it is. I guess that's all I could ask for in this day and age. So
Yeah.
yeah,
What you get?
yeah, absolutely. So thanks for coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Hey, maybe we'll have you back again. Next time you have a big life event or fucking not even have to have a life event. Maybe just to shoot the shit and chat. Like we're doing now. You never know.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Take
Hell yeah.
ADHD train.
Oh my god.
Just let it ride.
Oh my God. I have one of those or both of them. And, I think this podcast very much might as well be called ADHD, the podcast, or ADD, the podcast, or something. It's been a ride. So yeah, no, thanks for coming on. And I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for making the time.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thanks.
Happy. Yes.
I almost said Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to your wife.
Yeah. I actually made a video. My dad is dating I have 3 younger sisters. So my dad is dating one of my younger sister's best friends. They lived together for a few years now, but she was 16 or 17 when they got together. It's fucked up. So that's what I mean about, shit that shouldn't be happening. And I made a video a couple of years ago. She was 28 when I made it. So this is probably 30 now. But a couple of years ago, I was like, Happy Mother's Day to the wonderful women in my life. It's like my Nana, my mom, my wife, my first stepmother, my second stepmother, and to the 28-year-old that my dad is currently banging, right? And like it blew up. It did pretty good. I'll have to repost it, even though she's not 28 anymore. But I thought it was funny, and it did funny. Really well on the internet. So,
oh hell yeah, I believe it.
Hell yeah. Well, happy Mother's Day, and Anna, you stay frosty.
Stay frosty, man.
Stay fucking frosty.
Have a good night.
You as well. Fucking love this music.
This is awesome. Need that words to it.
Have you listened to the podcast? You've listened.
A little bit, but I've been thinking that.
I'm trying to get words.
I don't know what you put, but make it good.